Governments often try to win elections by fighting the last one again. And to an extent you can understand it. After all, they did win it. But this week the Prime Minister adopted a rather more bizarre strategy of trying to win the next election by fighting the 2007 election over again. It is about as likely to result in victory for Scott Morrison as it did the first time round for John Howard. In Monday's Question Time, the Morrison was at his shouty worst. Coming off the Victorian state election drubbing, the government MPs were hardly in a jocular mood, and yet, oddly, Morrison decided to attack the opposition by invoking one of the more infamous jocular moments in Australian politics. After railing at the ALP benches for being very cocky, he suggested that there was a warning ahead for voters, and it came in the form of Peter Garrett. Yes, a man who left Parliament 5 years ago. The Prime Minister cast his mind back to 2007. The ALP were leading in the polls, and Garrett had a conversation with Steve Price in Melbourne Airport, in which, in response to Price's suggestion that it was turning into the Me Too election campaign, Garrett replied, "Oh, don't worry about that. Once we get in we will change all that." Garrett later told the media that he was not serious and that it was just a casual conversation, jocular in manner. On Monday Morrison took us back to that time, telling Parliament, "I'll never forget what Peter Garrett said back before the 2007 election. We all remember it. While they were all trying to pretend there wouldn't be anything dramatic, that they would just be John Howard light if Kevin Rudd were elected, Peter Garrett let the cat out of the bag when he said, 'We'll change it all.' That's what the leader of the opposition's plan is. That's what the Labour Party's plan is. They want to change it all." Such history lessons are always quite fun, if only to recall that Me Too now has a very different meaning from the one ascribed to the Rudd strategy of being Howard light.